My name is Ananya Singh. I moved from India to Nevada for a job that seemed too good to be real. It was. Because the only reason I was hired, the only reason my work permit was approved so fast, was because my boss needed a body for something ancient, something he called the offering. And now, looking back, every smile he gave me was fake. Every kindness was a sign. Every moment was a countdown to the night he planned to use me. I still remember the moment I got the email. Your work permit has been approved. I screamed, cried, fell to my knees in my little room in Delhi. I thanked every god I knew. The chance to work in Nevada, in a global aerospace company, was the dream of my entire life. But the email had a line I didn't notice then. Signed and recommended personally by Mr. Charles Archer, Director of Operations. I had never met him. He had never met me. Why would someone so high in the company personally recommend me? I didn't question it. I assumed it was luck. But the thing about luck is, it always comes with a cost. The first time I met Mr. Archer, I felt uneasy. Not scared, not threatened, just uneasy. He was tall, pale, with a face that looked carved instead of born, sharp cheekbones, eyes that didn't blink enough, a smile that felt rehearsed. He shook my hand too long. Ananya, he said softly, welcome. His voice was warm, but something behind it wasn't. He walked me around the office. Everyone respected him. A few seemed terrified of him. I assumed he was strict. I didn't realize they feared him for something else. 2 days after joining, he said, you must need a place to stay. Nevada can be dangerous at night. He offered to take me to an apartment that was perfect for someone new. I didn't want him to, but I didn't want to be rude either. He drove me there. A small building near the edge of town. Quiet. Empty. When we entered the apartment, the first thing I noticed was how cold it was, like someone had left the freezer open. When I told him, he smiled. It gets that way sometimes. Don't worry. He handed me the key. But something was off. There were scratches on the floor, leading from the door to the bedroom. Deep scratches, as if something had been dragged or had crawled. He noticed me staring. His tone dropped. Ignore those. The last tenant had issues. He left before I could ask anything else. The first night I slept in that apartment, I woke up at 3:11 a.m. Something was whispering, not loud, soft, like someone praying. I sat up, heart pounding, listening. The sound was coming from the bedroom corner, the darkest corner. I grabbed my phone light and pointed it there. Nothing. But the whispering stopped the moment the light hit that wall. I should have left then, but I told myself it was jet lag, stress, paranoia. The next night the whispering came again. This time it spoke in Hindi. You were chosen. You were chosen. You were chosen. I covered my ears. It didn't stop. It only got louder. 1 week in, I needed to print a form. My boss wasn't in the office, but his door was open. I knocked anyway. When no one answered, I stepped inside. His office smelled strange, like old books and iron. I turned on the printer and waited. That's when I saw a file on his desk with my name. Ananya Singh, approved. Inside was my application, and behind it, a photo. A photo of me standing in my apartment doorway. Taken at night. Taken before I ever saw him there. Taken from inside my apartment. My hands shook so hard the picture fell. That's when a voice behind me said, "It's not polite to go through people's things." I turned. Mr. Archer stood at the door, smiling gently, but his eyes were empty. That night I confronted him. "Why was there a photo of me in your office?" He tilted his head like I'd asked a silly question. "To prepare." "For what?" He smiled. "For the offering." I laughed nervously. He didn't. He stepped closer. "Do you know why your permit was approved in 3 days? Why you were selected over thousands? Why I brought you here?" I couldn't breathe. He leaned in, whispering, "Because someone like you is rare, born on a certain lunar day, marked from birth." I froze. "How do you know my birth date?" He whispered, "I know everything about you." I ran, left the building, didn't look back. But he didn't chase me. He didn't need to. because he already knew I had nowhere else to go. I returned to my apartment, shut the door, locked it, bolted it. My phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Stop locking the door. I threw my phone away. The whispering started again, this time louder, heavier. I felt pressure behind the bedroom wall. Thumping, scratching, something trying to push through. I backed away slowly. The wall cracked. Not from the outside, from inside, as if something alive was breaking out. I ran to the living room. The apartment door slowly unlocked on its own. The knob turned. The door opened. Mr. Archer stepped inside. But he wasn't alone. Behind him were 3 figures in red hoods. He said, "It's time." They grabbed me, dragged me down the hall, down a stairway I had never seen, into a basement filled with symbols carved into the walls. A stone altar stood in the center. He pushed me onto it. I screamed, kicked, fought. One hooded man held a black book. Another lit candles around the room. Mr. Archer stood over me. His voice wasn't human anymore. Deep, layered, distorted. The offering must be willing. "I'm not," I screamed. He leaned closer. "That's the problem," he whispered. He sliced his own palm. His blood hit the symbols. They glowed. The room shook. I cried, begged, prayed. It didn't matter. The devil didn't listen. But someone else did. As the ritual began, the basement door slammed open. Voices shouted, "Police, federal agents." Someone had tipped them off. The hooded figures ran. Mr. Archer didn't. He looked at me, disappointed, as if I ruined something sacred. When the police surrounded him, he smiled. Not scared, not angry, just calm. He whispered, "Another time." And before they could handcuff him, he collapsed. His body decayed in seconds. Bones turned black. Skin melted. The devil took him back. The offering failed. They freed me. But they couldn't explain why a multinational company had a ritual basement. Why my file included childhood details no one could know. Why Mr. Archer's body turned to dust. They only told me one thing. "You were not the first girl he brought here." I moved out the next day. New apartment, new job, new life. But some nights, at 3:11 a.m., I hear whispering again. Not from the walls, from the shadows. Whispering my name, calling me, the chosen one. And sometimes, I feel a hand on my shoulder, a familiar voice behind me. "You still owe us an offering.